Hello, I'm Zili Zhou from China. What I'm going to share with you is my own experience of taking an online class and learning Kung Fu during the first semester. Before that, I would like to tell you that my purpose of learning traditional Chinese Kung Fu is not only to be able to fight, but also to enrich my life. Actually, there was also a reason why I chose to study Kung Fu during my first semester. One thing, the COVID-19 has forced us to study online at home, which means we have more free time than usual. I usually use that time to play video games. Because of this, I had got an impaired vision. I wish I can change myself in college. I hope to get out of my comfort zone and practice how to plan my time effectively. To be more specific, we can divide our state into three zones. First is the zone of comfort, which you will be relaxed and enjoy in the condition. The second one is the zone of study. In this zone, you can learn by yourself with some efforts. And the third one is the danger zone, which reach the limitation of stress and productivity that our bodies can handle. Looking forward to is not only learning knowledge, but also using the rest of time for physical exercise. But problem is how to accurately find my learning zone. I should not only to maintain proper study and exercise, but also to avoid overwork. It's like a scale. In order for it to balance, you have to have the same weight on both sides. Without any hesitation, I began my journey of Kung Fu. Practice is on every Wednesday and Saturday. I have to finish those 2 days lessons in advance. At first, I did not find it difficult. Since all the online classes are recorded, I can decide the class time on my own as long as the assignment submission deadline is not exceeded. After the first week, I realized I was wrong, because my master taught me more complicated movements and power generation skills than I thought. Not only that, after learning, I have to practice at home every day, otherwise the complex set of power generation and movement will be unfamiliar. What's worse, I missed most of the homework deadline this week because I spent too much time on practice of movements, and I had to spend twice as much time catching up on missing lessons while I was tired. This made me extremely frustrated because if I continue at this, I would fail all my classes in the process of extremely tired. I knew I had to make some concessions. Fortunately, my master gave me a help and adjust his plan. I no longer need to learn Kung Fu on Wednesday, but only on Saturday. But in contrast, I have to pay more attention on my daily exercise at home. The second week seemed a little easier than the first, but getting out of my comfort zone was a lot harder than I expected. My first test is the third week of the program. The examination result was not satisfactory or even abysmal. On the one hand, this is because my inability to the online examination environment, and on the other hand, it is because of my procrastination. During these 3 weeks, I always start my homework a few hours before the deadline, and it doesn't make a big difference at first, but as the workload piled up, I paid the price for my procrastination. I missed most of my classes, and my homework was not due on time. Worst of all, I failed the exam because I didn't attend class and pass the homework to review the knowledge points. At this point, my procrastination pushes me into the danger zone. My passion for Kung Fu was fading. Doubts, remorse, and frustration took over my heart. At this moment, I suddenly remember a sentence my master taught me. When you can fool yourself with your punches, so can your enemies. That sentence inspired me. I found that if I think of procrastination as my enemy, I can overcome it by fooling myself. I immediately went to the mall to buy a calendar. Then, what I did was I put all the submission dates on the calendar. However, I randomly picked some submission dates and wrote them 2 days earlier. That way, even though I knew some of the dates had been moved ahead, I can't remember which ones. In addition, finishing some homework 2 days ahead of time can also spread my workload and lighten my burden. After a week, the results show that the method worked. Although I have a lot of things to do, after the reasonable arrangement, I don't have to do a lot of things every day. Not only that, because of the reducing amount of homework per day, the quality of homework is improved, and scores are correspondingly improved too. Most importantly, I finally overcome my procrastination. The funny thing is, the way to overcome procrastination is to lie to yourself. And the inspiration came from my Kung Fu master. But I have to say that the Kung Fu I practiced during this time was not the only inspiration for me. Before each practice, my master would sit down and have a cup of tea with me. When talking with me, he would understand my state of mind by my words. If I felt anxious about my grades, he would teach me Tai Chi, which is a gentle form of Kung Fu that would make me move calm as my movements slowed down. Oppositely, if I was depressed or frustrated, he would teach me Wing Chun. Because of the fast movement, I would forget about other things in the learning process and gradually become focused on the practice of Kung Fu. After this period of practice, I feel that traditional Kung Fu practice not only the body but also my own state of mind and emotion. After this period of planning, I found that I actually have a lot of potential. Compared to studying and practicing Kung Fu very hard at first, I can now squeeze a lot of fragmented time out of my schedule. I also find that after a long time working in front of the computer, practicing a little Kung Fu makes my muscle and joints more relaxed. What's more, studying for a long time makes me feel sleepy, but if I stand up and do some exercise, it will make me more energetic and easier to concentrate. To be honest, I don't always go exactly according to the plan, but this is only the first step. Furthermore, when the current state gradually becomes my comfort zone, I will continue to try to adjust myself to absorb and learn more knowledge. In coming semester, I will continue to improve my plan and more seriously to implement. That's the virtuous circle I'm looking forward to.